What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today is the continuation of Mixed Six Pack Theme Month here on the channel. And the beer I'm reviewing today comes from Brewery Ommegang, and they are out of Cooperstown, New York, and this is their Rare Vos. So they're calling this a Belgian style amber ale that is brewed with orange peel, grains of paradise, and coriander. Comes in at 6.5% alcohol by volume, 21 IBUs in the time of review. This bottle is exactly, I don't know how old this is. There is a bottled on date at the bottom of the bottle, but it's just a long code that I cannot decipher. So let's just say this is relatively fresh. The Wegmans grocery store that I bought it at, they pretty much do a great job at rotating out their stock in the Mixed Six selection. And yeah, I'd say this is probably no older than 6 months old and probably closer to like, 2 or 3 months. So yeah, it should be relatively fresh. Anyway, this beer, I've had this beer numerous times, so full disclosure. But the last time I had it was 3 or 4 years ago, and I've always really enjoyed this one. And it's one of the few beers that I enjoy that has grains of paradise in it. Not that there are a lot of beers that use that, but one beer that uses it is Samuel Adams Summer Ale, and I absolutely despise that beer. I've hated that beer for a long time. I need to review it on the channel because apparently they've changed the recipe a little bit. I don't know if they still use grains of paradise, but I know a lot of people out there like that beer. For me, I'm not a fan of it. So this is a beer that uses grains of paradise that I enjoy. So maybe the Summer Ale wasn't an issue with grains of paradise as much as just I don't like that beer. But anyway, yeah, Belgian style amber ale has orange peel, grains of paradise, coriander, 6.5%. Says serve at 40 degrees Fahrenheit. This is probably 45, 50, a little bit warmer, but whatever. Let's crack it open and give it a pour. So, like I said, haven't had this in a couple years. Probably 2015, 16-ish. So poured into the hashtag proper glassware, Ommegang glass, and go from there. So, oh yeah, look at that head. Look at that great pour. You guys look at that. 73 fingers of head doing it. I always forget when I'm pouring Belgian beers, like how carbonated they are. Look at that. And I know there's an etching in the bottom of this glass, but it is a volcano, an absolute volcano of carbonation. So this has a really nice amber look to it. It's more like almost like a burnt copper or like a burnt orange kind of look to it. Very carbonated, as I said. Has about a 4-finger cream colored head. It's not straight up white or even off white. It's cream, not approaching tan. Super fluffy looking, just amazing. That beer looks great. Even though I poured it quite aggressive and it has a 4-finger head, it still looks awesome. Yeah, so you're probably going, what are you doing trying to get the aroma when the head's that big? Well, it still smells something. Yeah, this has a lot of like big malty component to this one. Caramel. There's dark fruits in here. Maybe not dark fruits, more like dried fruits. Like a dried apricot or something like that. Dried mango. It definitely has a nice Belgian yeast component to it. It's spicy. That coriander is there as well. The orange peel, it has a citrus blast. This is more like dried stone fruit than I would say like straight on citrus. But I do get a little bit of the orange peel in the nose, a little bit of citrus blast, and definitely the coriander, and just the Belgian yeast esters. Yeah, Belgian yeast esters are definitely there. I don't know what grains of paradise exactly smells like. I'd imagine that's part of the spicy aroma. Yeah, it smells a bit, there's a nice sweetness, a nice fruitiness, and a nice spiciness. It's a nice melange of different aromas, and it makes it very pleasurable in the nose. Yeah, it smells pretty good. Let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. Very tasty. I dig that. Now they call it Belgian Amber. I guess it could be like the Belgian Amber, Belgian Pale. This is like a lighter Belgian drinking beer. Because right from the get-go, this is super drinkable. I can tell you right from the first 2 sips. And what I kind of remember about this beer, right up front, you're hit with that nice, like I'm getting caramel, big bready component that I wasn't really getting in the nose, which surprised me because I thought it'd be big bready, biscuity type of like, aroma from the malts. But the taste is more bready with a little bit of caramel. And then there's a lot of that dried stone fruit, pretty much apricot and mango. As it passes through the palate, that spiciness comes to the forefront. Coriander, probably the grains of paradise, I don't know. And just like a spiciness from the Belgian yeast. Like if you've had enough Belgian beers, you kind of know the yeast esters that they produce, and it just has a Belgian yeast component to it, kind of generic from that standpoint. It finishes semi-dry. There's a decent dryness here. Almost no bitterness to speak of, so it's pretty much sweet, sweet, sweet throughout the palate. But then it's the monotony of that sweetness is broken up by the spiciness mid-palate from the grains of paradise and the coriander and just the yeast itself. And then on the back of the palate, it dries out enough to stop it from being too overly sweet. And this is not cloying whatsoever. This is super drinkable, easy to drink. There's a little bit of like a residual sweetness on the back end. 6.5%, this is straight up medium body, has a little bit of heft behind it to let you know, hey, this is a slightly bigger beer. You know, it's 6.5%. This is not a 5% beer. The mouthfeel, very crisp. Like I said, little residual sweetness on the back end, but it finishes somewhat clean as well. Very effervescent, lots of spritzy carbonation, which you'd expect from the style. Yeah, the best thing I can say about this is that it's a really easygoing drinking Belgian beer. I feel like if you were trying to get into Belgian beers, you wanted a place to start, I think I would go to this beer. I think this is kind of like a Belgian drinking beer. And I know that sounds stupid because all beers are drinking beers, right? You're drinking the beers. But what I'm saying is that this is, I think, approachable for a lot of different people. None of the characters that they brew this with, the orange peel, the coriander, or the grains of paradise, is too much. They're all very integrated into the base beer. I'm not really getting any of the orange peel, though, in the taste. In the nose, I was getting like a generic citrus vibe. In the taste, not really. It's more of that dried, like stone fruit. I have more dried stone fruit. Maybe a touch of citrus now I'm trying to look for, more like an orange tangerine thing. But yeah, the best thing about this one is it's really easy to drink, very approachable for someone trying to get into Belgian beers. It's not too spicy, it's not too malt forward. It doesn't have too much of the Belgian yeast component, although all that is here. So if you want to try this out and you're hoping like you don't get the Belgian yeast component, you're going to get it. They're brewing it with the Belgian yeast. That's what's going to happen, right? But I think this is very approachable, and I would tell people to try this out if you're trying to get into Belgian beers. This isn't, you know, a 10 or 12% quad or like a 9% triple or anything like that. It is a 6.5% Belgian style drinking beer, and I think it's appropriate for the style. So my personal preference, which I always rate to, I would give Rare Vos from Ommegang a solid 4 out of 5. Really approachable, tasty beer. Stylistically, I haven't drank a ton of Belgian Amber Ales, but I'd imagine this is 4.5 and higher. Ommegang brews some of the best American Belgian beers. They more often than not hit the nail on the head, and I really do dig their offerings. I mean, for less than $2 for this bottle, and I think, I want to say these come in 4-packs probably for $10. So you're looking at $2.50 a bottle at most for a 6.5% beer like this. Pretty good value. Availability, wherever Ommegang gets distribution, they're all over the place now. If you get Ommegang, you probably get this one. I'm not saying this is like their flagship beer, but it's definitely one of their year-round beers that you can pretty much pick up wherever Ommegang is present. So yeah, I'm really digging this one. 6.5%, really can't tell there's any, you know, there's no alcohol burn or anything, no astringency. The only reason I know this is a bigger beer is the body is medium bodied, which is very nice. So yeah, Ommegang's Rare Vos, 4 out of 5. What did you think about this one if you've had this one before? Be curious to know your thoughts because, yeah, I remember enjoying this one, but I think I like it a little better than I used to. I think this is I probably gave this one like a 3.5, 3.75 in the past. 4 out of 5 is more appropriate now. I think, you know, back even 3-4 years ago, I didn't like Belgian beers as much as I do now, and I really dig this one. So yeah, appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Stop by tomorrow for another installment of Mixed Six Pack Theme Month. We're going through a lot of different beers that hopefully most of you can get, and so far so good. I've really been enjoying it. So if you've been enjoying these reviews, let me know that you have been. Give me some feedback, and yeah, we'll talk, because that's what we do here. Anyway, take it easy. Cheers.